Chief Troy Finner, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, they are all walking over to the podium, and as soon as they do, I will bring the sound there up and we can hear from Chief Finner about the 3 officers who were shot in the line of duty today.
Where's Sam? Sam. All right.
Am I taking this on or keeping this on?
Leave mine.
You gonna leave? I'll leave it on. Let me get things started. Standing, of course, here with Chief Finner. He'll be speaking in a few minutes. Appreciate Chief Pena from the Fire Department being here. Thank you, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, for being here. Councilmember Carolyn Evans Shabazz, and all of these men and women in blue, police officers. Kind of give you a brief update, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Chief Finner. Let me just start off by saying we are certainly praying for our police officers who were shot today. I will tell you, one was shot in the foot, one was shot in the leg, and one was shot in the arm. All of their injuries are non-life-threatening. Had a chance to visit with each one of them and even with some of the family members. All 3 officers are in good spirits. All were talkative. And we expressed, number one, our support of them, how appreciative we are of their service, and how grateful and thankful that their injuries were not a lot worse, because it could certainly have been a lot worse. So again, all of them are in good spirits, and their injuries are non-life-threatening. Had a chance to talk to all of them. This has been a tough week. Starting on Saturday, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week for law enforcement, and it's been a tough week for the city as a whole. Quite frankly, for the city as well as the county. What it indicates again is that being a police officer in this case, or in law enforcement, is an inherently dangerous job. Every single day, when these police officers leave their homes, go on their particular shifts, not knowing what they will encounter in that day, being a police officer is an inherently dangerous job. And so I cannot tell you how proud I am of every single law enforcement officer that serves our city, that gives their all in the service of our city. And so I want to ask the people in this city to continue to lift them up, to continue to be very supportive of them, to let them know that we are very supportive of them and that we appreciate them doing everything they can to keep the rest of us safe. These are inherently right now dangerous times, and that was demonstrated again today. We are living in inherently dangerous time, and it's going to take all of us working together to create and have a very safe city. There are a lot of guns on the street. Quite frankly, there are just too many that are on the streets and in the hands of people who will use these guns at a second, on a notice. And again, this is one of those situations. Person gets out, person starts shooting. And now we have 3 police officers who are in the hospital with gunshot wounds. So I want to continue to be supportive. Now, let me just say this. The chief and I, on next week, we'll lay out some additional steps that we intend to take in this city to do our part as a city to try to make this city a safe city in which to live. So next week we'll lay out some additional steps. I won't go into those steps today, but I'm going to ask people in this city to work with police, to work with Crime Stoppers and others, to participate in helping to make this city a safer city. And if we work together, we will do that. We're going to get through these times. And I know there's a lot of people are fearful right now, justifiably so, but we will get through these times. But in the meantime, please pray for these 3 officers that their recovery will be very quick. They'll be able to get back on their feet and then get back to their jobs in the line of duty, doing what they love to do each and every day. Having said that, Chief Fenton, let me turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Congresswoman, Councilwoman, and Chief Pena, from Union, and all our other leaders. Thank y'all for standing with us. Mayor's hit on a lot of the points. I just want to say one thing. I want everybody, all our leaders, before I update you on what happened out here on this scene. No more excuses. Everybody, take an active role and get intentional in doing whatever you can do to fight gun violence in our city, period. It's not really a difficult thing. Bad, dangerous people, it's a place for them, and that's in jail. But let me give you the update. So approximately 2:42 p.m., officers responded to a residence on the 1500 block of Trolley Street. The suspect at some point spotted the officers. He took off in a vehicle. Officers pursued the suspect to McGowan and Hutchison Street. The suspect crashed. Officers, as they got out of the vehicle, the suspect immediately fired upon the officers, striking 3 officers. All the officers returned fire. It is unknown at this time if that suspect is hit. Once he got out of that vehicle, he carjacked at gunpoint a white Mercedes-Benz. Other officers pursued him to a home in the 1800 block of Lockwood. Officers surrounded that house. The suspect fired multiple times. Thank God he didn't strike any of the officers. Officers returned fire. Again, we don't know if that suspect is injured. He's still in the home. We treat it as a barricaded suspect. We'll give you an update as I receive it. The last update I received a few minutes ago, he's still in the home. We're trying to negotiate to get him out. We got 2 crime scenes. The officers who fired, they're going to be on administrative leave after they get out of the hospital. But the mayor said it, and we're just grateful to God that they're all right. It's been a tough week for law enforcement in our city. And the two law enforcement officers that we lost, continue to pray for them and their family as we plan for their funerals. It is tough. When I received that call today, 3 officers down, and you don't know the condition. But I'm gonna tell you, stand by your law enforcement officers. Stand by the justice system. And we're gonna continue to work here in Harris County, Houston-Harris County, to make sure we're doing everything we can do. But we need help from everybody. And remember what I said. And this doesn't go for individuals who need treatment, suffering from drug addiction or mental illness. But these violent individuals, I'm damn tired of it. And we need to stand up as a community and do whatever we gotta do. If that is to have more jail capacity, let's get it done. No more excuses. Questions?
Before
I'm
you
sorry.
go to question, let me just say this, 'cause I do want to thank the police officers who transported
Yes.
these wounded officers to
And
Memorial
HFD.
Herman. And I want to thank the Houston Fire Department, Chief Pena, for being right there promptly and for transporting officers to Memorial Herman. And then let me thank the medical team
Yes.
and the staff, the nurses, the doctors here at Memorial Herman each and every time. They do an exceptional job of going over and above, providing excellent medical care to our officers, to firefighters, to people who find themselves in need of care. You just couldn't find a better place. So, you know, we took the time, in addition to thanking firefighters and police officers, thanking the medical team and the medical staff. I do want to say that, we provided resources to the police department. We'll provide even more. It's going to take all of us at every level to step up and to do our part to make this a safer city. And we will. We will make this a safer city. And we will provide our police officers with all the resources that they need. But I do want to say next week that we will be outlining additional steps that will be taken to reinforce police officers and others who are out here fighting to make our city safe each and every day. But I do want to thank these police officers and firefighters and others for being on the front line and for doing an exceptional job on behalf of the people in our city. Thank you, Chief. I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Go ahead. Questions?
What was the original call? How did they end up coming in contact?
Just some type of disturbance call, out of family disturbance, possibly because it's at a residence, but it's still active, and that's what I have at this time. Go ahead.
Sources of mine told me that the gunman might have been using a weapon modified with like an auto switch.
I can tell you this, and I can't confirm it because but what officers described it as an automatic, a fully automatic weapon, and that's something else that we need to address in our community, and we will.
Do you think is the suspect still alive, do you think?
I'm not sure. I don't know. They're still out, trying to negotiate with him and get him out, so we don't know at this time.
Has he been communicating?
No. Go ahead.
If I don't know if Chief Pena can tell us in Spanish the condition of the officers.
Yeah. Give us 1 second, and we're gonna get through with these, and then we'll do the yeah. Okay. Hold up. Let this pass.
There could be 50 plus shots fired. Is
That could be accurate. Multiple shots. Multiple shots. Yes.
Chief, did you say that some of the officers were transported by other officers?
Yes. I think 2 of our officers were self-transported by one of our patrol officers, and the third was from HFD.
Can you tell us about the condition of the person that was carjacked? How's that person doing?
I hadn't heard any injuries on that, and we hope that's the case, but we'll follow up with you on that because I don't know at this time. One question over there, I can't see through the lights. Go ahead.
That was the same question, but did you find other weapons inside the Charger?
That's part of the investigation, and at this point, I don't know right now. That scene's still active. Go ahead.
Were some areas evacuated because of the danger, because of the...
I'm pretty sure that that's a residential area out there on Lockwood, and that's what we do. We try to evacuate everybody around there, keep them safe.
Can you describe the suspect's knowledge of the home he's barricaded in? Is that a home that he knows? Did he break
I'm not sure. I just can tell you it's a single residence home, a 1-story, I think. Yeah.
Tell us more about the suspect himself.
I don't have any suspect information right now. Nothing confirmed. Okay.
Was there anybody in the home when he went into that home?
I did get some reports that there were some residents in the home, and they ran out when he came. But we don't believe it's anybody in there right now but the suspect. But we need to confirm that.
So no potential hostages?
Not at this time. Any more questions?
Was the Lockwood address like a random place that he went to, or did he go there for...
I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure, Randy. Thanks.
Chief, this callous disregard for the law, for law enforcement, the lives of law enforcement, what do you attribute that to?
Hey, who knows? But I know one thing, Randy. We need to address it, and we need to deal with those individuals. And one thing that people miss sometimes, it's not most of our citizens. It's a small group of individuals that's committing havoc. Our city is a great city with great people in it, and we're going to stand up for them, and we're going to find out a way to deal with those very few, very violent individuals. So thanks for that question.
Chief, could you let us know about the ranks of the officers injured?
Everybody is, I'll give you the
3, 4, and 5 years.
3, 4, and 5 year. They're all officers from Northeast. Thanks for asking. All right.
Chief, it appears that they continued to, participate in the shootouts after they were already injured.
Let me tell you something, and that's what people need to understand about the great men and women on our police department. You have some brave officers that put their line on the line every day, And I'm proud of them. And make no mistake about it, we release videos, and citizens are going to see the fight in them when they have to fight.
Question for the mayor. You said that you're going to announce some initiatives next week. Are you talking to other cities? Because you know that this is happening across the country.
It is happening across the country, but I would tell you I'm primarily concerned about what's happening in the city of Houston. Over the last week and a half, Chief Fenner and I and others have been talking about additional steps that we intend to take to protect the people in this city and to make this city safer. A more comprehensive approach. Quite frankly, that was going to be laid out this week, but so much has taken place this week. So we will unfold those initiatives next week. But the crime in this city is too high, okay? And it is important that we do everything on our part at the city to combat that. Now, even everything that we will announce next week need to be augmented and supplemented by other levels. We have way too many cases that are backlogged criminal cases, over 100,000. That's unacceptable, okay? So there are many additional things that need to take place. But in terms of what the city can do, we will lay out those additional steps that we intend to take next week. I do want to acknowledge Doug Griffin, head of HPOU, and thank him and the union for their collaboration all throughout this. But those initiatives will be announced on next week.
All right, that's it. Okay, one more, and we'll let Chief, you want to translate for us? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Where did it start? The street that it started? And it was around 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 2 o'clock, Trolley Street.
Trolley Street?
Okay. Yeah, truly.
Truly?
Yeah.
Bueno, buenas tardes. Mire, estamos aquí para informar a nuestra comunidad que esta tarde, más o menos como a las 3 de la tarde, comenzó los policías, el departamento de policía, a seguir un sospechoso. Comenzó en la calle Trolley y llegaron hasta la calle McGowan y Hutchin, donde el carro chocó. El sospechoso que estaban siguiendo salió del vehículo y comenzó a disparar contra los policías. Fueron 3 los policías que fueron heridos. Los policías tienen 3, 4 y 5 años en la fuerza del departamento. Ahorita están en condición estable y como dice el jefe de policía Troy Finner y el alcalde Sylvester Turner, están muy orgullosos, todos estamos muy orgullosos del trabajo que hicieron en el Departamento de Policía hoy para poder contener esta emergencia. Ahorita el sospechoso está barracado en una casa, todavía es una escena que sigue comenzando en pie y esperamos que se resuelva bien y apropiadamente. Pero les podemos comentar que los policías están estables ahorita, esperamos que se recuperen a un 100%, pero queremos que la comunidad los tenga en su pensamiento y que recen por ellos y nuestra comunidad, que ahorita estamos viendo mucho crimen en esta comunidad. El alcalde también quiere comunicar que está incluyendo recursos apropiados para aumentar los elementos de policía para poder combatir este crimen que estamos viendo en nuestra comunidad y él está poniendo de su parte para poder hacer lo que se tiene que hacer para que la ciudad de Houston esté bien y segura.
Let me just say, I also appreciate the president and the executive director of the African American Police Officer League being present as well.
Okay. Thank y'all. All right.
Thank you all.
Thanks for being here.
That was an update from Chief Fenner and Mayor Turner on the shooting of 3 officers and an ongoing standoff with the suspect. You can see all the flashing lights in the live shot here. Mayor Turner says all 3 officers' injuries are non-life threatening. 1 officer shot in the foot, 1 in the leg, 1 in the arm. All are in good spirits.
As for that standoff, it continues right now on the 5th floor. Let's go to Melissa Correa. She's there live. Melissa?
Hey there, Len. As night is falling, the most we can make out at this point are the red and blue flashing lights from law enforcement vehicles posted throughout the intersection of Lyons and Lockwood. I can tell you folks, since we joined you last during KHOU 11 News at 5, that HPD's bomb squad and SWAT team have moved in even more tactical gear, including a newer device called the Rook. From what we saw here at Public Vantage Point, it looks as though it provides a shield, and it also moves or maneuvers like a bulldozer and a forklift. Police Chief Troy Finner talked about those ongoing negotiations with a man, the suspect identified by the state's largest police union as Roland Caballero. It's the police union that confirms on social media that Caballero was shot in the neck. Police are now confirming he's holed up inside a single-story home somewhere here in the 5th Ward on Lockwood. Authorities aren't giving too many more details, and of course, for strategy, an HPD chopper is hovering overhead. That's why Air 11 is not providing a live picture of this scene here for maneuver reasons and all of those sorts of things. We want to make sure that these officers are absolutely safe as they continue to negotiate with this man. Federal agents down to Harris County constable deputies are here. They are suited up. Some of them at some points this afternoon had their guns drawn, and all of them have their bulletproof vests on. The staging area for those law enforcement officers are here at Lyons and Lockwood. Police did an excellent job, I can tell you, rapidly clearing the scene. A Chase Bank and 2 pharmacies here on this intersection. An elementary school and a high school are just blocks away. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. This standoff with this man suspected of shooting 3 Houston police officers. A live photo from Air 11 and some live pictures there in the 3rd Ward, about a 4-mile drive from where we are here at Lyons and Lockwood, is going to detail what happened earlier this afternoon. And that's the new information that we're getting now. Just before 3 this afternoon, some Houston police officers got a call about a disturbance at a Houston home. Well, a guy, as soon as the cops showed up, police say, jumped into a car and police had to give chase. As soon, police say, as the guy turned onto Hutchins at McGowan, he crashed his vehicle. Police say he flung open his door, and officers on the ground told the police chief they believe a fully automatic weapon was used to shoot and hit 3 Houston police officers. Thankfully, they're being treated at the Texas Medical Center this evening, and we're told conditions are stable as far as that much is concerned. But a wild scene about 4 miles away. We're hearing from a witness who spoke to KHOU 11 earlier this afternoon. Listen to what he told us today. Okay, we don't have that sound up. We do not have that sound up available. This is an active scene as we're continuing to cover multiple scenes throughout the Houston area. An investigation is happening there at McGowan and Hutchins as police exchanged gunfire with this man that a Texas police union is identifying as Roland Caballero. He is now holed up, according to Houston's police chief, at a home along Lockwood, not far from Lyons. Houston police are telling us perhaps when this scene is clear that we'll get a media briefing here on scene in the 5th Ward. You know, to go back to what Mayor Turner just said earlier this evening, we are living in a dangerous time. 3 Houston police officers shot attempting to respond to a disturbance at a home. This is coming days after a Harris County corporal was shot and killed during a traffic stop. At the very least tonight, prayers for police and the hope that all of these authorities here on scene make it home safe and sound.
Work, and we are hoping for all of them to head home safe tonight. Melissa Correa, thank you. The injured officers were taken to Memorial Hermann Hospital. David Gonzalez joins us now live in the Texas Medical Center with more on their conditions. David.
Hey, we just finished talking to Mayor Sylvester Turner, who wants the whole community to pray for these 3 officers who were shot this afternoon in 3rd Ward. He said that one officer was shot in the foot, another officer was shot in the arm, and the other one in the leg, all luckily suffering non-life-threatening injuries. We've learned that those 3 officers are each a 3, 4, and 5-year veteran of this force, and just seconds ago they told us that we can expect the names of those officers to be released around around or just before 10 o'clock this evening. But they're telling us that the mayor met with all three officers individually and that they're all in good spirits, which is good news, and they're talkative. The mayor says that he thanked them for their service and that he says this could have been a lot worse because, as we've mentioned, it's been a very sad and deadly week for law enforcement here in Harris County. He says that this is not only a tough week for law enforcement, but it's a tough week for the city of Houston and also Harris County. He says that being in law enforcement right now is inherently a very dangerous job, and he's very proud of what these officers do every single day. He wants the community to pray for these officers and also be supportive of any officer and law enforcement officer that they see out in the scene because he appreciates what they do, and he once again says that this is just a very dangerous time for these officers. He also mentioned that next week he plans to release some steps that will make this city safer. He's calling gun violence in the city an epidemic. Mayor Turner saying the same, Mayor Turner and Chief Troy Finner both reiterating that, saying that this is just a very dangerous time for people living in the city of Houston, but they both vow to make the city safer. But as far as the condition of those three officers, we're very happy to report that all three of them suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Mia and Len, back to you.
Best news we could have gotten today considering the circumstances. David Gonzalez, thank you. Let's get a quick check now before we wrap up this newscast with David Paul for a look at this evening's weather. Dave?
Weather-wise, it's been a quiet day, but if you are sneezing, it is the cedar pollen, which has gone up to 222. That's at my Twitter account as well if you want to get another look. 56 outside right now. Dew points at 39. It is a delightfully cool evening outside. Traffic's busy on the west side of the 610 loop. Hobby 59. Galveston is a chilly 55 right now. And this evening will quickly drop into the upper 40s as we head toward bedtime tonight. And then as we head into the next 3 days, there's a slight rain chance tomorrow morning. And then after that, it's gorgeous Friday afternoon. And Saturday and Sunday look beautiful as well, with lows in the 30s and highs in the 60s. In fact, as we go into early Friday morning, that rain chance, maybe a few scattered showers south of I-10 as we head towards sunrise tomorrow morning. Galveston and the coast have the best chance for a scattered shower tomorrow morning. And then we clear out. And then by tomorrow afternoon, just beautiful highs, mid-50s. Plenty of sunshine, a cool, sunny day in Houston as we get a winter day coming up. So here's the extended. Friday evening's gorgeous. Saturday and Sunday, lows in the 30s, highs in the 60s. That's a beautiful weekend. Monday afternoon, an 80% chance for thunderstorm rumbles in. We'll take a closer look at that on the 10 o'clock news tonight, guys.
Wow. Stay connected with us at KHOU.com and the mobile app. We will see you with the very latest.
Call Standard today.
Don't delay, call Standard today.
There's an old proverb that says, a day of traveling will bring a basket full of learning. Fill your basket to the brim in Mississippi.